leadership is just bestowed on you because of who you are. I mean, what the title that you have, the position that you have, right? And being truthful, people do treat you differently when you have that title. You're in a large organization, and all of a sudden, wow, your time is sought after by other people. It's flattering, but the fact of the matter is, leadership isn't bestowed. And my experience is that you got to earn it. And if you kind of set that aside and just say, hey, these people don't work for me, they work with me. I'm working with them. You collaborate, you influence, you motivate side by side. That type of thing earns leadership. They see their manager facing the same challenges they face, getting the bad news at the same time they're getting it, but not looking over the shoulder and says, why'd that happen? Blaming, no blame, right? So when you do that and you're in the field and you're in the arena, as you described in the opening comments, when you're in the arena um, and how you react, that kind of gives you leadership. And I just think there's a misnomer. And I've been, it may have been on your, one of your coaching podcasts, your Coach2Scale podcast, and it may have been just something I read. Um, and it has to do with, it's very popular to move up the corporate ladder by kissing upward and kicking downward. And I had never heard that before. So I can't claim that, oh, I just adopted that as a, as a skill or as a mantra when I was leading people at Oracle. But when I heard that, that made a lot of sense, because when you see it, you see how that can happen in companies, right? And you don't want to be that person, right? Because it's very evident. Like, that person then leaves that big corporation, they go somewhere. Well, how many people will follow them? If you've been kicking downward for most of your career to get upward, you're not going to have that many followers. And that's a key thing. In fact, that is one of the key things when you're hiring a leader or hiring a VP of sales. What are the people that worked for them? What do they say about that person? Not the people that they worked for, but the people that worked for them.
Yeah, one of the guests I had on fairly recently, his name is David Creamer, and he's written a couple of really solid books about sales leadership, and he does talk about that. Don't get ahead by kissing upward and kicking downward. I think another word, Challenger Sale may have perfected the branding of it. The climber, the proverbial climber in the organization, right? That person who's always reaching up, kissing up, but kicking the people off the ladder down at the bottom. But David Creamer talked about this concept of sales team for life. And it basically, Jeff, you've worked with and around a lot of people over the course of your career, and they didn't all follow you, to every company that you went to.